I had heard of animal flow training before, and to be honest with you, I always thought it sounded kind of silly. That is until I tried animal flow training for myself and discovered just how humbling yet beneficial this could be, making adaptations I had never felt before, taking my performance to the next level. But at what cost? This is my journey, animal flow training, for an entire month. But you gotta focus. The beast crawl, the spider, the two-step. Man, it's like breaking. Oh. So I started off how things usually start by watching some videos of some examples of some beginner animal flow movements. Alright, we got this. Let's do this. Come on, bro. Starting with what seems like the base to the entire animal flow movement theory, the beast crawl. Oh, that hits the core like right off the bat. Oh, man. Did you hear that pop? Anyways, the beast crawl is pretty much intuitive, just walking forward on all fours. It seems simple, but starting off for me, just holding this position, I could feel it not only in the core, but the hips, the legs, the shoulders, everything. And this was one of the most basic moves. The next move I tried, supposedly called the spider, just like the beast crawl, but turned around. Looking stiff. And the final beginner move I threw in on day one to help transition between the beast crawl and the spider, the two-step. No, other way. Oh, dude, that's confusing the brain. Yeah, that's good though. It's not exactly a good two-step, but we'll get there. My core, my shoulders, my hips, my knees, everything's getting fatigued. This is gonna be challenging. Anyways, what am I supposed to do now that I got the first 3 beginner moves down? Take it outside in nature? Oh, there's bugs everywhere. I'm gonna beast crawl up the hill, do a two-step, and then crab walk down the hill, all while listening to Domino. Taking these 3 basic movements I tried to learn outside in nature, this is where animal flow started to humble me even more. It was only about 15 minutes, and everything in my body felt like it was fatigued. Oh, I got it. Getting so many splinters in the hand. However, I did feel like I was making the initial connections that were going to build the base for more advanced animal flow movements. I'm not exaggerating. I woke up this morning and my wrists are sore. It's reminding me of my old b-boy days back when, I was doing movements kind of like this, I guess. But yeah, that's a feeling I haven't felt in a long time. It's like a different feeling than just like a muscle soreness. It's deep. Guess I need to build up this strength. The next day I decided to take my animal flow training inside the gym, working on conditioning, just running through the 3 basic movements. I was supersetting them in between more normal exercises like sled push. They may be laughing now, but they won't be when I'm crab walking on them haters. I mean spidering. As I continued to rep out these animal flow movements in between other exercises, I felt like I was beginning to adapt. So I continued drilling these basic movements throughout week 1, with the anticipation that in the beginning of week 2, I would add in some more advanced moves. What the heck? The galloping ape. The bear crawl. And the crab spit. Now obviously I'm way more stiff and all over the place than it should probably actually look, but I'm trying my best here. That is like a whole new... So my goal the second week was to achieve 3 new moves every training day, which was going to be 4 days this week. However, on the second day of week 2, I hit a huge mental block trying to practice what was supposedly a simple move called the skipping ape. I think the reason it was so frustrating was because it was trying to break a pattern that I wanted to naturally follow when it came to skipping through with my legs underneath. So I had to mentally and physically fight through that, which was super frustrating. But when I think about that type of stimulation at the end of the day, that could be some of the best for making those new mind-body connections, essentially keeping you young, challenging coordination in new ways, learning new things. Now on the other hand, there were some moves like this called the ostrich, which looked silly, but felt like they were working on areas of my body in ways that I haven't felt before, almost like unlocking new pathways of mobility.
Oh, that's a good hamstring stretch.
One thing's for sure, man, this is no joke. I'm sweating up a storm out here. My arms are like aching, my legs are cramping up, my knees are locking up, dude. Animal Flow, it seems like kind of like a joke. It ain't no joke.
Now, as I continue to push and try to learn more Animal Flow movements, as well as work on the ones I've already had, because those were still very challenging, well, that wrist soreness I acknowledged early on started to turn into what felt like more of an injury.
My wrist has been like killing me, like right here, like right there, especially when I'm in this state like that. Oh, dude. If I go like this though, if I could do fingertips only, it kind of helps. And if I just use the fist, it also helps. Yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna just go to one fist, try to practice some new moves.
So I actually cut down on my volume a little bit and then only practiced the movements in positions that didn't hurt, which was on the fingertips and the fist. And I ended up taking 2 days off before going into week 3, which, praise the Lord, my wrist pain was gone starting week 3. I think sometimes it's just as simple as taking a couple days off. And speaking of taking a couple days off, I was feeling fresh. Quick and strong, fresh enough to take on a new complex move, the lizard. Yeah, so at first glance, this move looked like it shouldn't be too bad, but the movement patterns felt so counterintuitive to what I wanted to do. And this actually took quite a bit of frustration trying to like battle my mind into getting this down right. But like I mentioned earlier, along with all the mobility unlocks from animal training, there's also that mind-body coordination connection, especially when doing movements that just don't seem like they come naturally. In fact, I was beginning to believe in the deeper concept of Animal Flow training, unlocking that extra layer you don't get with ordinary fitness. And as you can see, still struggling with the coordination of the lizard, it slowly was improving attempt after attempt. And even though I was still doing it wrong, I felt this rush of new connections, creating a greater sync between mind and body. Now, even though I was into my 3rd week of this new style of moving, I wasn't really flowy at all yet. Also, I was still really being challenged physically by each of these movements. Now you can see from the front view here, whatever I'm trying to do. I think I'm trying to do a lizard, but I just can't like get the flow enough. Regardless, the amount of isometric holding in between each position, the joint mobility, everything extremely challenging on my body in ways I haven't felt in years. Something I feel like I've lost. Maybe it was time I tried to get that back.
It's hard to explain the magnitude of the difficulty of that unless you try it. Like, dude, that's so much harder than you would think.
There is something I'm starting to experience, a sensation I felt like was lost for years. And that is the feeling of just like this connection strength. Like I feel connected again. Now, as silly as this sounds, I know there's probably others who can relate to this issue, but there were moments in the recent past and even like the last like decade or so where like I just felt disconnected. Like I might have felt like I was strong here, but like it didn't go through the body. You know what I'm saying? Like I just felt I'm getting this like strength back. Like I feel like so yeah, I'm thinking like going into week 4, I do want to like continue learning new moves, but like at the same time, I really feel like I'm still getting a lot of benefits from just training these moves that I've already learned and like trying to refine them. Like I haven't gotten them down that good yet, especially ones like the lizard. And beyond that as well, like just like the mobility and the places I've lacked mobility in just starting to like open up. Anyways, I am Animal Flowing at the gym today, so we're going to take it there. We're going to work on the moves we already learned, maybe look up 1 or 2 new moves to try out. Dude, I'm stoked. I'm ready to do this. Let's go. So at this point, the beast crawl and the spider, which by the way, I always thought was called the crab walk. Anywho, well, they were basically used as my warm-ups. At this point, I felt like these beginner moves were helping me warm up my core and activate my shoulders and hips so that I could better get into the more tasking movements that I was working on. One of those more tasking moves was the galloping ape. It might look kind of simple, it's pretty intuitive, but when I would do this upwards of 100 feet, I was breathing so hard, my legs were burning, but I felt like I was adding this new depth of joint mobility as well as this like full body endurance and coordination. So to try to build up endurance and get better at animal flow, I started to treat it more like a workout. Doing a basketball court's length of a certain movement counted as 1 rep, and then the opposite way on the way back.
Form is really breaking down when I gotta go the distance, but that's literally progressive overload right there. That's it. Check this out. Look at how good I'm getting. Oh, that was really good. That last little bit there.
It was beginning to look a little more flowy. This on top of working on my endurance, I was starting to feel more confident going into week 4. But then, the first day of week 4, something happened.
Look at me. Oh man, I'm a monkey. I'm a monkey. I'm a monkey. I'm a cartwheeling monkey. Ow. Ow. Ah. Ah. Felt my hamstring pull a little bit. It's an area I've kind of tweaked before, but oh gosh. Oh. 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 I'm just kidding. Alright, that was a joke. It is a little tight, but other than that, I think I'm alright. So maybe it was just a minor twinge, and or maybe the Natty Wolverine Stack supplements came into play. But all that matters is it is feeling better. It is just a little tight. I'm gonna be careful, warm it up, and practice some more animal flow. All right.
So trying to practice a new combination outside the galloping ape to cartwheel, I experienced what felt like a shearing pain in the back of my leg. Now my hamstring was tender after this, and it felt like when I would get back into this position, it pulled on it just a little bit, but thankfully I believe it was nothing more than a minor strain, and probably only happened because my hamstrings had been so tight from all the years of sitting at my computer, and while trying to speed learn animal flow over the course of 1 month, I might have just gone, I guess, a little too fast in that specific area of mobility. So for the next couple of sessions, I really worked on warming up the hamstring, going slowly through this range of motion, and I continued to train animal flow throughout the 4th and final week.
Something I feel like I haven't touched on too much is just how rough it is, like animal flowing outside on your bare hands and feet, like especially on the cement, but even on like the grass and stuff, my hands are getting so roughed up. All this on the fingers right here, and then like my fingertips and like my thumb pad right here is all feeling like it's got the first layer of like callus that could turn into like a permacallus, you know what I'm saying? Like the bottom of your feet, or at least my feet. Speaking of feet, my toe, peeled the skin off this toe. It's been bothering me. I got to bandage it up. The band-aid keeps falling off. Keep trying to throw it back on. Anyways, I'm gonna keep training.
Yeah, so animal flow injuries, just the name of the game, brah. However, I kept training throughout week 4, trying to take my time to warm up a little better, but also trying to push my limits in what I could do with animal flow. But now that I'm at the end of 1 month of animal flow training, I have 2 things to say. 1, I'm humbled, and 2, I'm enlightened. But seriously, these movements have been so much more difficult than I expected them to be. But also the stimulation and, well, gains I feel like I've made from this 1 month journey have been enlightening. These positions I wouldn't normally get into with normal workouts, and even in other weird strength workouts that I've been doing. I have noticed a lot more what feels like major joint strength and stability, especially in the shoulders, the hips. Now also very important to me is I've noticed the development of this like connection strength through the core. In fact, I feel like my core as a whole has gotten more mobile and stronger. Now thankfully that hamstring thing wasn't more serious, but to me that's telling me that I still have a lot of mobility to work on. But also regarding injuries and old injuries, I feel like my shoulder has felt a little bit more stable as well. I think from doing all the beast crawls for warm-ups and doing the spider on the reverse. And to conclude, I just want to say to all the animal flowers out there, respect. So much more difficult than I thought it was, but potentially very beneficial. I'm feeling that way. With that being said, more videos coming out, more challenges, more experiments. Stay tuned. Hope you all have a great day. Peace. I will see you all in the next video.